Try to get Z back in.
We're not online still. I can't connect to Skype anyway. So that was day 2, pretty much.
That was day 1.
Day 1. So
My goodness.
Day 1. And then, let's see.
Day 2, James and I were the first up because you guys had gone to the Twitch party the night before.
No.
Oh, okay, then I'm wrong. What are you talking about? No.
Oh yeah, I keep getting mixed up. We got there on Monday. Shut up.
Oh my god.
We got there Monday.
No! Day 2, just as I had said, they had gone to a Twitch party.
We went to the Machinima and Twitch party.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Playing both sides.
I didn't really stay very long, but because it was really loud and
No!
I got to say hi to some of the Machinima guys I hadn't seen at the booth.
But James and I had made the plan the second day. Very first thing we were going to do was get tickets for Resident Evil or whatever. And so we were sure to be up and waiting in line the second day to get into the convention. We were there early. The other guys were dragging behind a little bit. They were only about 20 minutes behind, though. So the second we got in, we went right over to the Resident Evil booth, and it was already there.
Well, when we got in, though, we were in the line.
Oh, God.
And we were just kind of standing.
The lines.
Yeah.
We saw the lines. Got another advertisement. Look at that. Same one. Huh?
I think we're going again.
I know.
Woohoo!
Alright, anyway, continuing where I left off. So I'm starting to walk towards the back of the line, and I turn around, James isn't there, and I'm looking around. I couldn't even see James. Like, I went back to over a little bit where we were, and I didn't see him. So I started going upstairs because he had texted me, and it was like, come on up here. I'm like up here. Because we had seen a line up at the top, and so I thought that's what he was talking about. So I went up to the top, up the escalator. Nobody, like, I didn't see him there. And I called him, and he was like, I just took 2 steps to the right and got in the front of the line. So I go back down, and he's right there, like right at the front of the line, because he just cut in front of all those people, but nobody said anything, so I just stood right next to him. And I felt like a dick, but at the same time, whatever. But eventually, they to announce, I guess, the start of the convention, like 15 minutes before they opened up the convention floor to the commoners, which is us, because we weren't media. Or exhibitors or whatever. I guess it was just exhibitors allowed. But they had bagpipe players there, so we got some cool bagpipage. Eventually, whenever my video goes up, kind of documenting the entire thing, you'll see that. I think James, did you record? No, you didn't have your camera because you.
Yeah, they had it was left in
it
their
there.
room because it was charging, so I didn't even have the camera. Like,
so you didn't get a whole lot of day 2 stuff, but. So yeah, the second the lines were allowed in, we ran to the Resident Evil thing really quick, and the line was still pretty long there, but we ended up getting through, and James got the very last ticket for Resident Evil. What'd you say? The guy in front of you, like, if the guy in front of him wanted Resident Evil, like, he would have gotten the last
yeah,
ticket.
there was
but
a
he
guy.
picked
There
Lost
was a
Planet.
guy like in front. I think he might have wanted 2 or something like that. And because there was only 1, maybe he switched it over to like Lost Planet or because there was 3 stacks. It was Lost Planet, Devil May Cry, and Resident Evil. And I guess you could only pick 1 to get in. You couldn't get multiple tickets or anything like that. So I guess the person in front, like, they ended up getting Lost Planet, and then I snagged up the very last Resident Evil ticket to come back at, it was like 2 o'clock to get back in line, so that way I could get an actual, like, hands-on demo.
Gameplay
with
experience.
it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then right after that, like, the plan was to get Resident Evil, get the ticket or whatever, and then we were going to quick try to get in another booth since it was so early on.
Yeah.
And so we sped over to the fucking
EA booth.
yeah,
Dead
the
Space.
EA booth for Dead Space 3, which even then we lucked out for that too because we were within the first 3 fucking people in line for Dead Space 3. And it was some random guy, Dan, and then me. We were literally within the first, like, 3 people. All of a sudden, all these media people kept coming out of nowhere, sitting in front of, like, they're like, oh, can I get in this? Can I get in this?
There was
can I
like
get in this?
15 or so media people there, and I
Yeah.
was afraid we weren't going to get in. If it was anything like Splinter Cell, they weren't going to have a lot of seats, but they had a lot of seating in there, so we luckily got right in past the cutoff. But
Yeah, that's like the big thing that we're gonna do for next year.
It's media
passes.
media.
We didn't really
Media.
understand. Like that's the thing about E3. We said we're gonna get a ton of coverage and stuff, and then we got there and we were so overwhelmed by how much stuff there was.
because our badges were
Yep.
exhibits only, so we had to wait in regular line.
Yeah,
we
that
couldn't
kinda
get in
sucked.
front. But Dead Space 3 actually looked really good. I haven't played much of the Dead Space games because I'm not that great at them. But watching somebody else play it, it's pretty fun. That game looks.
I played them. It did seem like when they first like announced Dead Space.
I had 10 tickets for.
Yeah,
that
there
time.
wasn't that many per time, but when we got in, they kind of had everything all in a. And they said it was like the Chris campaign get up, like the stations or whatever. It was like China or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like they had everything all spiffy for it.
That, and they were nice enough to let me in, even though I didn't have a ticket. But I didn't want to play. I just wanted to watch.
Yeah,
games
yeah.
play. So.
And so when we got in, they had all the booths set up, and then they were like, we're just going to let you play the game for 30 minutes. And they gave you the choice of either Leon's campaign, Chris's campaign, or the Jake Muller guy's campaign, which is like the son of Wesker. And I started right off the bat with Leon's. And Leon's, I'm pretty sure, would be what a lot of people would want from like an older Resident Evil game, like the more or less scariness. It's not really like... There wasn't really any like jump scares or anything like that. That's usually what gets me is jump scares. That's pretty much it. But it had the zombies back again, and it still had the action-y controls, though. He could still do dives, and he could still fucking do his like high kicks and crazy shit like that. He brings up the Resident Evil 2 Raccoon City incident like every time he gets the chance. He's like, I was a survivor of Raccoon City or whatever. He's like, I'll never forget it, and yada yada yada. But his campaign in the demo was pretty short. Like there wasn't really much. It was more of like a babysitting thing that you had to do when you eventually find this guy who's looking for his daughter, and then you find his daughter and you have to escort him around.
There was something that was outrageously stupid in there.
Yeah, his daughter was like obviously infected right off the bat. You could already tell, and yet Leon pretty much didn't give a shit and kept him
even
like,
after she died.
yeah,
and then
he
the
kept
power goes out.
He kept escorting her. Like you would think, Leon, the survivor of Raccoon City, would know right off the bat to shoot that bitch. But I mean, that's the whole thing playing with Leon versus Chris in the game is that like Leon, he won't be gung ho about it. Where Chris is kind of like Chris doesn't give a shit at this point because when I played Chris's campaign, he's like all drunk and shit. Like he's just on the edge. I don't know why he's on the edge. I don't know if I kind of skipped through a lot of the campaign cutscenes of Chris's part because I had to rush up because they said there was only like 5 minutes or so left, and I wanted to get to the gameplay of Chris, which is more of like an action orientated
weird
thing.
winged zombies.
It's pretty much like the Magini things from the fifth one. It's like the same type of monsters there, except he can do the rolls and stuff like that, the crazy dives and shit that he originally could do in like the E3 demo of the fifth one, except they took it out for some reason. I don't know why, but they made it a lot better in 6 that you could do dives and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I didn't get to play as Jake, so I don't know how he's mostly hand-to-hand combat, so I don't know how he works. But
So after that, we did. What did we do? What else?
that was it.
Was that
That
day
was
2?
two.
I think was the day that the Kings had a chance to win.
Oh God, we were afraid there was going to be a riot.
If they would have
Yeah.
won the
that we also did the fan meetup.
yeah, oh yeah, we did do the fan meetup that day.
We did the fan meetup right after the convention.
Right after
We
the
did that
convention
direct.
closed, which is going to be on the Hub show. I have my perspective up on my channel, and then we'll put the Hub stuff up too. I think that's a lot more cup footage of it though, because he had the camera.
Yeah, it was really.
I was just taking little snippets of it here and there.
I always love talking to fans about what we do because
Yeah, it's fun.
they're asking questions about Carl and how James and I like Carl and Herschel's Land stuff, and it's really cool. I guess the majority of them knew me from Herschel's Land. A couple of people. There was one guy who was telling me about how he really respected how I fly well dressed. That was the guy who gave me the graffiti.
Mm.
He really liked that, so I took his notepad and drew him a doodle of me wearing a tie, and I was like, since you like me dressed up so much, that was pretty cool. And right before, I wish I had seen the guy earlier, right before we left the fan meetup, like we were all saying, okay, we gotta go, and you guys started walking away. I was talking to this This guy, who's most of you probably won't know this, or who this is, but his aunt is Maureen O'Hare, and she was in a lot of old John Wayne movies. And his uncle was, or grandfather or uncle? I think it was
I
grandfather.
think you said grandfather.
Yeah, his grandfather was in the Batman '60s TV show. He played I think he said Chief O'Leary in one episode or something like that. And his uncle was a producer on it or something like that. So it was really neat. He was showing me pictures of Maureen O'Hara with John Wayne and some really cool pictures. I wish I had seen him earlier because we could have talked longer. But it was really cool meeting fans and stuff. I always love to do that. It makes me feel slightly important at the same time. I get to see people who, comment on the videos and such. So, yep. Love you guys. We'll, do meetups.
Yeah, we'll do
whenever we
more of
can.
those.
Whenever we can.
They're always
whatever
fun,
it is.
especially for like PAX.
Oh, and we should probably mention this now, maybe. AMC announced that they're doing a Dark Knight Rises marathon, similar to they did to the way they did the Avengers. So, like we had made the video for the Avengers or whatever. But so yeah, we're gonna get tickets for the Avengers. Or not the Avengers, the Dark Knight Rises marathon. They go on sale June 11th. So
we're gonna get tickets for that, and we'll be there. We'll tell you guys which one we get them for, because in case one of them sold out.
yeah, we have a couple that we could go to. So
I'll be in Canada.
Yeah, Z'll be gone.
I'll be shunning myself from the internet until I see it that day, because I won't be seeing it at midnight.
Good.
So, but yeah. Then after that, we were afraid. There was a massive amount of cops posted.
Yeah.
Every
They were
block.
afraid too, because apparently when the Lakers or someone won one of the championships a while back, like cop cars were getting flipped. Probably wouldn't have been as bad as like when the Red Sox won the World Series, but
Yeah.
still pretty bad.
So they were expecting some sort of riot, but they ended up losing, so that was good.
Wow, yeah, that was good.
Conan, we were watching Conan later that night, and he had
Yeah.
a joke like if
thing.
the Lakers. I wish we had time to go to a taping of Conan, but that would have been during convention hours. That would have been awesome to go to Conan, but he joked like, if the Lakers lose tonight,
The Lakers.
it'll look like.
And there was like nothing but suits up there.
Yeah, and,
people filming and stuff.
and we were
Yeah.
playing one of the games. They have this new game. It's called
Project P100.
Project P100. It's a working title, and it was actually pretty sweet.
That game wasn't on the floor.
It was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, we saw it later.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
on
didn't
the
know if it
floor,
was.
but it was cool. And Reggie was standing right behind us when we were doing it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
It was pretty funny.
Just shook his hand.
But yeah, that was. Materials.
We're online.
Pornographic materials. Anti-chill. Okay, so what else is there? What were we talking about?
We were talking. I was saying how the game reminded me of Beautiful Joe, and then it was by the people that made Beautiful Joe, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool," and then it cut down.
And then what?
It cut down the stream.
What?
The stream cut off, you idiot!
Are we still online?
No, I was.
He was just saying what he was saying before it got cut off.
you
Oh.
God.
Anyway, so yeah, he was saying that same people of Beautiful Joe had made that one game. So, yay! Do I win if I just Photoshop a red hat onto you, Kovic said?
No.
Yes. We got to meet Kovic the third
Yeah,
day.
yeah. These guys got to meet Kovic finally.
Yeah, well, we had met him the day before, but we got shooed out of the Machinima booth because they needed room or
We're kind of blocking the way.
So we got chewed out
Sure.
by one of the internee people. But yeah, we got to sit down, Kovic ate some lunch, and we all just chatted for a little bit. It was
We all
pretty
watched him eat lunch awkwardly.
Yep. Yep. It's cool meeting him.
Oh, we were saying we played the PlayStation All Stars game, and Drake is in that, and me and Horton both picked Nolan North, and we were both battling it out as Nolan North.
Yeah,
He
we
sucks
both-
in that game though.
Yeah, he was terrible. Kratos
Drake?
just goes around destroying
Yeah.
everyone, and then we're sitting there. Nolan North pulls out his little pistol.
He is Nathan Drake, idiot.
I know he's Nathan Drake. I was making a joke.
He's Desmond too. I just call him Nolan North from now on in all of his
Yeah, I always
characters.
put him out.
All right, I'm allowed to do what I want. like I was saying before I was incorrectly corrected, we both played as Nolan North.
Yes.
Nolan North!